So many questions. One thing that I have done lately is when I realize I'm feeling discord or resistance, I guess, I start writing down like how I'm feeling about this, and it sort of helps me release that.
Maybe it does, but
no,
maybe it doesn't.
Okay.
But it really does. It distracts you, maybe, and it slows you down, because when you write, it does slow you. And so it might slow the momentum, and therefore it might give you some sense of release or relief. But really, if you don't feel good, that's not the time to try to segment and tend. The phrase that we've been offering, and it resonates with you, is identify that good feeling and then isolate it by focusing on it, and then calibrate to it on purpose. Well, you don't want to do that with wonky feelings. People do that all the time. Well, I feel bad because that person said that to me, and did you see the look on their face? And I know what they were really thinking. And then if you can rope somebody else into the conversation with you, you can really get off on a rant where not only are you not having a good time now, and you know you've got that feeling in your stomach, you're not having a good idea, but then off you go. Before you know it, it's like the whole world acts just like that. And the whole world doesn't act like that, just the one you're attuned to.
Right. Okay, yeah. Cool. So getting rid of
can't get rid of anything.
Okay.
Getting rid of it calibrates to it. There's no such thing as no. So it's not getting rid of something. Best example we have, some years ago, Jerry and Esther sitting on the porch in the middle of a drought in San Antonio, new to us. And Esther said, Abraham, can you make it rain? We really need some rain. And we said, why do you want the rain? And Esther said, because the trees are brown and the ground is cracked and all the little critters want something to drink. And we said, well, we didn't ask you why you're unhappy with it not raining. We asked you why you want the rain. Oh, took a minute. Well, I like how it feels. I like how it smells. I like how the earth absorbs it. I like the smell of that dirt in the rain. I like how things perk up right away. I like how the critters in the bushes are liking it too. And it began to rain from what was minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, a clear sky. Now, sounds like a crazy story, doesn't even sound real, but it happened. Jerry always watched the weather. He turned the news on, muted it, and waited for the weather maps to show up in those days. And the announcer said, a weird, freakish, isolated thunderstorm formed over Bernie today. Those were the words of the weatherman. And Jerry and Esther just looked at each other like, wow, because they knew why they wanted the rain, and it came. It came. Most people are knowing why they don't want what is and perpetuating it.
Okay, one more. So I'm involved with an organization right now, and their goal is to end suffering in the world.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, I know.
They can't get any rain either.
Okay.
That's right where Esther was.
Yeah.
Abraham, how can we end this drought? Well, let's talk about the drought and keep it going.
Okay.
If you want to end suffering, at the end of suffering, what do you find? When suffering ends, what's there?
I don't know. Emptiness.
Well, if there's not suffering.
Oh, well, then it's good. It should be all good at that point. If there's no suffering.
If there's no contrast, there's no anything. So you don't want to end anything. How can we emphasize well-being? So I don't want to end the suffering. What I want to do is enhance well-being. I want to promote confidence. I want to promote happy. I want people to feel like I feel. I want people to know their well-being and to feel loved and blessed. How can we promote people knowing their blessing? How can people know that they are loved? That's what I want. People to know that they are loved by the blessings that they let in. Because people don't know they're loved because they're not letting blessings in, and they don't know they're the ones that aren't letting in, so they think somebody else doesn't love them. And it isn't about that. The love is so strong. Do you know there could not be such suffering if there were not such love? Because suffering is what it feels like when you don't let big love in. If it was little love, it'd be little suffering. Someone you didn't know called you on the phone and said, hello, you don't know me. I'm just calling to tell you I'll never call you again. You say, okay, that's good with me. But if somebody you really care about tells you that, that's a whole other emotional response to it, isn't it? When you really, 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 really care about something, you have really, really, really strong feelings about it. And as you begin to show yourself that your feelings don't have to be in response to what looks like it's happening, your feelings are never in response to that. Your feelings are in response to you having a bogus perspective about something that your inner being has a clear, pure perspective about. If you feel abandoned, it's because your inner being doesn't. If you feel unloved, it's because your inner being feels loved and love, you see. If you are suffering, it's because you're pinching off the well-being that is yours that you are denying through whatever attention you're giving. So these groups that get together to end suffering, we love their intent so much. Don't end suffering, promote wellness. It's a whole different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Enough?
Yes, thank you
Really
so
good.
much.
Really good. What's the name of your group?
It's the David Bear coaching program. It's a business coaching program that I'm in.
To end suffering?
Well, that's the intention of the coach is to do that. And
End suffering. So let's give it a new name. The promotion of well-being. The enhancement of well-being, the acknowledgement of well-being, the awareness of well-being, the amplification of well-being. Yeah, really good. Yeah. What's your business? Ending suffering. No. Why would you have a business like promoting suffering? No, Abraham, it's not promoting suffering, it's ending suffering. We know. Why are you promoting suffering? No, we're not promoting suffering, we're ending suffering. No, you're promoting suffering. What's the name of your business? Ending suffering. Why are you promoting suffering? I'm not promoting suffering, I'm promoting wellness. Then why don't you call it wellness instead of suffering? Yes? We know we're getting carried away, but right here, stand if you think it's you. So what's on your mind now?
It's two questions, and I should ask the most important one, but I'm going to switch to the love one. I met a man, and I fell in love, and I thought we had an incredible, intimate, beautiful communion. And
We're behind the dumpster at the Mountain Shadows, but there's somebody else somewhere else. Did you understand that?
No.
Did you understand that? We encourage you to purchase the recording.
Please tell me. I didn't understand.
Sometimes you're on your way to something. Sometimes your inner being will lead you to an experience that will help you to activate and fine-tune vibrational frequencies within you so that the next rewarding thing is available to you, and the next, and the next, and the next. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's why we were saying Jerry and Esther looked there, and then they looked there, and then they looked there, and then they looked there. They looked a lot of places before they found them, and all those places that they went were right also. And that was the fun of the game that we were all playing together, is that they were there. They weren't there when Jerry and Esther got there, but they had been there. And the fact that they had been there and they had told them they had been there, so Jerry and Esther knew that they were on the trail. It just took them a while to catch up. You're on the trail. It's just a little while to catch up. And aren't you having fun eating Snicker bars?
Right now I am, yeah.
What's the next?
And the other question is, I had a timeline to find a job, and the timeline is due next week. And I guess it's just in gestation because it hasn't manifested physically.
Well, for sure it's on its way, which means it's still in gestation. We like that you got that. But let's talk about timing here for a minute. Let's talk about timing, because the way you mean timing, usually in your physicalness, is you mean timing like the moment in which it pops into your awareness where you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, that kind of timing. And the way we mean timing is when you come into conscious awareness of something. And timing, we can't say the word timing. You all know what you mean by it, and we don't mean something different from what you mean by it. But we want to put with the word timing words like co-creation, words like blending, words like synchronicity, and many factors coming together simultaneously. When you have big intentions, where there are many things that your life has helped you to know that you want, then the best of timing includes a high percentage of those. In other words, when you say, I'm on a timeline to get a job, we want to say, are you on a timeline to not only find employment, but to find rewarding employment? Not only to find something to do, but something that interests you and excites you while you do it. Not only others to work with, but others who are in harmony, who are also reaching for more. In other words, there's a lot more to what you're asking for than just what you want to define with time. So if something isn't happening, it's because you're asking for more than you're letting in. And that is, hear this, that's an indicator of a really strong and powerful deliberate creator. Because if you are sloppy in your creation, then your timing can be quick. In other words, you can be brought immediately to something that you think you want, and then you have to go through the experience of finding out that that really isn't what you want, or that there's more about it that you don't want than that you do want. But perfect timing is really, from our perspective, and the way that we want to say it is, really good timing is when you allow a large number of components that are important to you to rendezvous simultaneously. And nothing less than that will do. You don't want to just put up with a little piece of something you want, like it happened in the timeline. It happened before my deadline was in place. We want you to be willing to allow the universe to round up all of the cooperative components that you're asking for, which include a lot of factors. And we want to say to you that you're the last of the cooperative components. You're not letting yourself in. We talked about this all day today, because you're so aware of what is. That's what deadlines and goals do in a detrimental way to you. They make you focus upon the absence of what you want. They make you nervous. They make you feel frustrated. They make you feel tense. So you don't want to introduce into your equation of intent those things that make you feel like that. You want to step back and say, when I'm ready, it'll be there. When it's ready for me and I'm ready for it, then it will be there. And when it comes, I will know it. I won't question it. I won't wonder about it. It will feel good to me, even though I don't really understand how it's going to unfold. And in the beginning, it will be far less that it will be later, and it'll be far less that it'll be later. And this is something that's going to expand and evolve as I do too. But what happens so often with humans is you want to fast forward there, and you want all the answers that might answer any questions that you might ever have to be satisfied before you even have the questions. And what you're really wanting to do is just have an expansive, good feeling experience. And from what we've been talking about here today, what do you think is the way to get there in the fastest and the most easy way? Is to feel good about where I am. Well, that takes some doing, because right now I don't have something that I really want, need. That doesn't matter. You can find the emotion of it. Well, I don't know if I can find the emotion of it until I have some glimpses of it. Yes, you can. When you don't have enough money, you can put prosperity and a feeling of well-being in there. If on past jobs you haven't been respected, you can put the respect that you want and deserve, and that you want to give and that you want to receive. In other words, you can find those. So as you isolate some of those things that you're looking for, and then you go out in the day and the universe delivers something to you, like the rabbits or whatever it is, that fills in that little piece and that little piece, before you know it, you're resonating with so many of the things that are important to you that you're now ready to allow yourself to be the receiver of what's been being revealed for a long time. You think the universe isn't showing it to you. It is. The revelations are happening all around you. But you've got to be in the receptive mode before you can realize what's being revealed. As you look at it that way, then you don't feel deprived. It's in the gestation process. It's not coming. It's coming. Don't you want the timing of the birthing of the baby to be right? Don't you want it to have fingers and toes before it gets here? Oh, I was in a hurry for you. Sorry about that. My desire was so strong that you got here that you got some catching up to do, I see. And so you get the point.
Yes, thank you so much.
Enough?
Yes, thank you.
Really good. Really good. We've loved our time with you. We've loved our focus with you. We're appreciating who you are, and that are is a dynamic, ongoing thing. We love the inner being of you, and nothing thrills those like us, those like your inner beings, than you having a conscious connection with the energy of who you really are. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.